Tap me. Dead.
On your back, on your back.
Get a heal, get a heal, get a...
I whiffed everything like that.
Knock
Catalog.
on.
I dropped down with the res.
Come up on me, broke. I'm sliding.
Just play Halo. Play Halo. Play Halo.
Swing on my back.
I got pissed on. Go help him, go help him.
I don't need it.
Oh my god, what a Halo.
Let us open the door.
So fast, that's on me.
Tap me. Oh my god, you should push Zax. Last one.
He's probably up 2K.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the unk.
Toodles, it's time to get to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Apex Underground. Today we have a special guest here. We have the Crash Out Unk himself, Zumi with the Zoomies. Please give a round of applause to my homie, Mr. ReZumi.
Hello.
Zumi, welcome to Apex Underground, man. It's a pleasure to have you. We've been wanting to do this for so long. I've low-key been trolling, but we're here now. That's the point.
That's all that matters.
For sure.
Ready to go.
Let's get right into it. All right, so first segment of the day, we're going to give you competing history, right? We're going to go over your competing history, like what got you here, the whole nine, right? And then obviously I keep up with you, and I'm seeing you guys been going crazy in scrims.
Oh, yeah.
You actually shit on me, but we'll talk about that a little later. But what made you want to compete?
So it actually started as like a situation where my first ever team, we wanted to play in a little tournament in B&M, and after that we ended up just starting to scrim more and more. But things just fell out after that. But we'll talk about that later.
Okay, sweet. So like you said, you just compete here ever so often. Something you and the friends wanted to do, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
sweet.
something we just wanted to do.
Me personally, I think that's the best way to get into it. I got into it a little differently. I don't know if there's ever a Kai episode for Apex Underground. We'll definitely get into that. But that's sick. But obviously, the first time you compete, like first time you join CCs, you guys make quarterfinals. Tell me a little bit about that. That is an amazing achievement, by the way.
Yeah, so that was me, Spastic, and iLooting at the time. No, he's also known as Key. He was IGLing. That was an experience in itself because that was the CC3 year 4. I've never like played in that type of environment yet. I've never like done those things. Like I was VOD reviewing like late at night sometimes and just like trying to figure out what I needed to do. Talking with Spastic and talking with Key. And we didn't even think that was like a possibility. Like we just thought we were gonna get like round 2. So at one point in time we almost did, and then we pulled it out. So yeah, it was an experience in itself, for sure. It also set that bar like up there. After that, it's like, all right, what's next? So we almost made semis. I think we were like 3 or 4 points off semis actually in CC3. So that was a crazy feat. Like that, it was unbelievable.
Yeah, and I feel like that's gonna attest to how you are as a player. I mean, you're an amazing controller player, definitely up and comer, because what you could do on the sticks is nasty. I mean, obviously I know firsthand. I know
It's all to
firsthand.
Renji. It's all to Renji.
Definitely shout out Renji. We definitely have episode 1. So you brought up a couple names I don't want to go over. You know, Spastic, Key. You actually, that yours were teammates, obviously, but then you end up leaving them and joining Breezy Swagger and Guilty Till Proven. Could you tell us what happened between the transition into leaving them and joining another squad?
So there were some things going down, like off camera, outside of us playing together, me and Spaz, and it just ended up like it was something that needed to be done. Like it was getting it was getting bad. But we had a trial with Guilty, and something happened to where me and Guilty started kicking off, and then we ended up teaming together after me and Spaz split. So in CC4, we lost iLooting. Me and Spaz did. So then there's a team named Purple Dragons at the time, that BJ Yee and Breezy Swag Era was on. So the CC4 situation was one of those where Breezy couldn't play, and we picked up BJ just to play with us for that time. And then when it came to after the fact, there was talks of Breezy's IGO, which is BJ, not playing in BLGS and like discontinuing comp. So me and Guilty ended up trialing Breezy, and it just kicked off. Like me and Breezy played rank like a lot previously, so I was like, "Hey, you want to come play?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm down." So it was just one of those like nostalgic moments of us just playing together and just rolling scrims. So that was definitely a situation too. There's some things on top of that happened. The way that me and Guilty left. So
And I mean, obviously you don't have to, but did you want to go into that or?
yeah, I can. So it got to a situation where I felt like it wasn't going to work. Like we were just going at it like nonstop. Like it was a compatibility issue.
Okay.
Breezy ended up leaving and going playing with BJ and BLGS one again because BJ came back. So we were trialing and trialing and trialing. Like we trialed like 8 people, and we just couldn't find like a fit spot. And then I just couldn't anymore. I was like, you know what, bro? I'm gonna go figure out something else. I'm gonna figure out what I need to do. And then I trialed a little bit, and then things happened. So
Right. And for the people
I
that
love
don't
Guilty
know,
though. That man is he's a good player, very good player.
no, definitely. But for the people that don't know, um, Zumi recently this year started competing. Am I right?
Mm-hmm.
This year started competing. So I'm definitely gonna have the clips up, but look at obviously where he's came from to now. I mean, this is an insane growth spurt, like from just over a span of a couple months. I mean, you went from making quarters, not making it to semis, almost making it, not making it, to now playing in BLGS, making it to day 2, getting up there with playing against big dogs. Like you, I mean, we're not even halfway down the list of questions, and there's still greater things that you've done as a player. And I think you need your props because definitely you're an insane player. In a few months, you made a lot of progress.
Oh yeah, comes down to who's around me. That's for sure.
For shit, sure. And that's that. We can talk about that all day, but let's keep it going. All right. So doing my research, I realized that you were in the IGLing role,
Mm-hmm.
and you gave it up. What was it like to be an IGL? What was your kind of like? This is gonna sound kind of crazy, but what was your way of IGLing, if that makes sense?
I was a zone IGL. Well, I played hybrid, but with my first ever team, I was an IGL too, with DSB 410 Finest, and then we had Cade on there, like my boys. I IGL'd for them also, but that was back when I was trying to learn hybrid. I didn't know my zone calls as well, and then after CC3, I learned a lot from iLooting, and he taught me a lot when it came to zone knowledge. And then while we were actually trialing, me and Spastic, before we picked up Key, we had Wait I Am Trash on, and he taught us some things about the ring too, which was very like eye opening. So like his knowledge too was pretty up there, but it just I was not playing like I am now whenever I was with Spastic, and whenever I trialed with Trash, it was like it was something. But um come on to CC4, I IGL'd BJ and Spastic. So I was a fixated zone IGL, and we were 2 points off of making quarterfinals. And the only problem that made that not happen was I'm not gonna say names, but I let someone overcall me on a situation where I knew zone was pulling because we already had the ring before, and I just didn't trust my gut. So all these IGLs out there, bruh, trust your gut. I'm
Not
telling you
dead
now.
ass. Not dead ass. And that's a lot of things I see in the community with well, people saying they want an IGL is that they're not going with their gut. I mean, I've had a couple close calls myself, with just myself though. Like nobody's counter calling me, but I definitely understand like trusting your gut because that is very fucking important. Like you'd be insane. Like we can go into literally we could talk about that for days too. How trusting your gut is important. But
Oh, 100%. One of those
um,
things too was like I was watching like a lot. Like I was VOD reviewing a lot of pros. Like I was VOD reviewing Hell a lot. I was VOD reviewing Sweet. Like I was VOD reviewing a lot of IGLs in that time to try and figure out what I needed like to do. And but when I was in CC4, it was like a huge micro incident where I had to micro every single little thing that we needed to do, and it was just it was a big problem. But
Yeah.
I won't.
Yeah. And you used to go by the name Spazzy 417.
Spaz 17, yeah.
So I couldn't find much on Spaz 417. So could you bring us up to speed on, what happened to Spaz and the reason for the name change?
So the reason the name change even happened is because I teamed with Spastic. But how that name became a thing was when I was a kid. I used to play in these paintball events and all this other stuff. I played speedball and all this other stuff, and that was my call sign. So that's how I got that. But once I teamed with Spaz, I made the reasonable decision to change my name because I didn't want like calling issues and all this other stuff. And at the time, I was making AMV edits under a different name, so I just took that name and slapped it on. Just that's how Zoomy became a thing.
Yeah. Obviously, we're gonna talk about more about the name Zoomy, but Mr. Zoomy with the Zoomies. All right, like W name. Not gonna lie.
W Mans.
It's better. It's really better than all my names, bro. I've had Knight, like a Knight in Shining Armor. I've had Frost. I've had Ender. Like, glad I'm older, bro. Like,
yeah, that's one of those
shit.
things too. When you're a kid, you're just like you're thinking like,
Anything
what do
sounds
I
cool.
want to do? Bro?
Yeah,
Literally, when you're like
like,
11,
fucking
you're like, this is the shit.
Yeah, bro.
And it's like,
and I didn't
holy,
even tell
you look back,
rule.
and you're like, what did I do?
What the fuck is that? Like, I had Sergeant Storm the Gamer. Like, bro, like,
Oh
what
my
the fuck? Bro, like, cringy times. Okay. Around October time, right, you're LFTing solo, from my knowledge, and trialing different teams, and you just happened upon Ringe and Argo. So, this question is deeper. How did you get to the point where you're trying? Like, how did that work? How did you get in touch with Renji and end up trying with those guys?
So Renji actually hit me up because they were looking for a teammate at the time. That was like the week after. So like when I left Guilty, it was very fast. Whenever I ended up like Renji ended up hitting me up. So I had I think it was 3 different trials in that same week, and then Renji was my last one. No, I had one more, but I was Renji and Argo's last trial, and our synergy was definitely there off the bat. So that was something that was like very prominent in our success very early. So, but Renji hit me up, and I was like, whoever comes and hits me up, I'm with it. Like, because we all know how Spastic was, and I was just known as Spastic's duo. Like, whoever hits me up, I'm with it.
Okay. And like I said, October 15th, you actually fully come on with Renji and Argo. What was it like? What do you think about Renji as an IGL?
Renji is. At first, it was something because I wasn't used to a hybrid playstyle at first. And the only reason I got into it like at a very fast pace was because Guilty was a hybrid IGL also. So whenever we started playing together, it was one of those things where like I was just listening to what I needed to do, and I'm a refrag, so I literally was just staying on someone's butt. Like that's all it was. Like Renji's getting intro damage, I'm on them with him. Like that's just how it was. When it comes to Renji's IGL style, that man has the confidence in any teammate. Like it doesn't matter. Like I mean, he'll say some things. Like I've gotten some very crazy things said to me after we've lost some cons, but it's like at the end of the day, he trusts his teammates, and that's one of the things. Like, and he cares a lot about teammates' growth and like the team's growth in general. That's one of his. He's a very big aspect on that, like a very. But when it comes to him and his mind, he is. He does not get the recognition he deserves for the way he IGLs, in my own opinion, and like the amount of things he knows, and the way he sets up our pushes, our fights, our 3v3s, uh, just our rotations is like. I'm just looking and I'm like, holy crap, because like when I was in IGL, I didn't put any of those things into effect. So, like just seeing how much advanced he is compared to like some of the other people I've played with in IGL, then it's crazy to me. On top of that, that man's got a fucking gun. So,
Nah, deadass. He's a pretty nice on the sticks. I'm not gonna lie. If you had to compare RNG to another a pro IGL, who would you more closely like compare him to?
I know for a fact who he
Yeah, we all know.
likes as an IGL.
Yeah, that's my
So
personal go-to.
that's the answer. It's definitely Sweet. So that's one of the things. And Sweet doesn't crash out a lot, so he only crashes out when needed.
I'm not gonna lie.
That's kind of RNG. So
I'm not gonna lie. Renji be flashing out, bro. Like, oh my god.
No, yeah, he lets that shit fly. He don't give a fuck.
Holy shit! I'm not gonna lie. I was watching y'all VOD, and I think BLGS, the last BLGS game. And at the end, like he's literally about to end. He's like, Renji, he's like, Zumi, I just don't give a fuck. And I was like,
yeah,
oh
he
my
was screaming,
god.
bro. I felt, bro. I was so like, I'm very hard. Like we're gonna get into that, but it's like, bro, like, he
it's like a disappointing.
He doesn't help with that factor, but yeah, he expects more. That's one of those things. Like, I'm getting there.
Nah, backs. So, playing with Argo. Now, I don't know much about Argo, but one thing I do know for shit sure is that Argo is one of the most anchor players you're ever gonna see. Like he's anchored to the bone.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know nothing about his personality. So if you had to go into, who Argo and what he's like playing with him.
You want it for instance? All right, here it is. We're sitting zone one game because if we have priority zone, we're obviously gonna play it. He's not tabbed in. He's sitting there doing like any guesser or some other stuff, and Renji was doing it with him too at times, and it's like, this is something because, like, to think about that, I was like, holy crap, because these people have the like ability to know if a team walks up, they're going to probably kill them. So I was like, this has never happened before. Like, what is this? Why are we not focused on the game? But when it comes to Argo as a player, that man also has some knowledge. So whenever I first joined them, there were some times where I would do something wrong in a fight, or there was just a lack of sense in what was wrong in those situations, and Argo at times would be the one to point it out, and they would make it like a big, for instance, like, this is what's going on, this is what needed to be done, this is what you see here, this is the outcome, and what could have been different. So when it came to my development, once I first started with Argo and Renji on Betrayed, that was like a big eye-opener because I've never had that before. Like both my teammates wanting to progress an individual in a way to make them shine in a way of playing the game at the level they should be playing it at, around the people they should be playing around. When it came to BLGS, that was one of the things that was very prominent to me also, was they were very attentive to detail and the things that needed to be done. So Argo as a player, he very knowledgeable, and that dude can also, he's a McKay and he's very mechanical. His mechs are up there. Like I knew he sit on like Kovacs, and he would be aim training like 3 to 4 hours before we even scrim some days, and I'm like, holy crap. But that man cares. So
You don't see a lot of that at all.
oh no, you don't.
So like I said, you were with Renji and Argo on Betrayed, and you guys were what, a team for like a week or two?
Yeah. So BLGS one,
Mhm.
I didn't get to play because I didn't think I was gonna find a team that fast. So they found a sub, which they found. I think her name's Janir,
Mhm.
and I think they got round 2 to 3, which wasn't like I didn't expect much because they didn't play together that much. Like they picked her up like a week before BLGS, so like they didn't get the necessary practice time and stuff, in my own opinion. But
Right.
I didn't request off for work or any like I didn't plan on having a team, but I didn't think it was gonna come to me that fast. So that was definitely something too. But when I was with them, it was an eye opener to have teammates around me that cared so much. So
Yeah. And one thing I can say about at least knowing Renji is that that man is a well of knowledge, and he
oh,
doesn't. He's not stingy. Like he'll give it out for free.
he's pouring that out for free on the free.
Like dead ass.
So yeah, it was one of those situations. Wait, what were we talking
Fuck.
about?
No, Renji being a
Oh,
well of
Renji.
knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. That man's something else. Um, he's he's gotten a lot of very good coaches around him at times, and right now we have one too. Um, but
With
he's
Snoopy?
Snoopy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thing with Snoopy that was I love Snoopy to death, but he starts going, he starts going.
Was the Yapper?
Oh yeah,
God,
but
must be
it's
a
things that
fucking
need to be
saver.
said. But yeah, Renji soaks up knowledge. Like that man is a knowledge sponge, and if someone needs knowledge, that it's on the free ski. Like he's just giving it, and he doesn't care. If he thinks like let's say you're doing something wrong, he's gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then this is gonna happen. There was this. He talks about this one time where there was this team that um they were like in their POI still like ring closing almost fucking halfway through 2, and they're still in their POI, and we're just like, what are y'all doing? Like they like he's like, why are you here? And so then after that game, he sent them a loot path and told them to use it, and I'm like, what the
Sounds just
okay.
like him.
So
Sitting there around too is crazy work though. Like, holy
yeah.
shit. That is insane. Holy fuck. Okay, so after BLG one, Argo ends up leaving the team.
No, he left 2.
Yeah. After BLGS 2?
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit.
So I didn't play BLGS 1. He played BLGS 2. BLGS 2 he ended up leaving after.
That's right. I remember now because Renji crashed out because of BLGS 1. I'm thinking he crashed out on Twitter or something. And then BLGS 2, I saw clips. Yeah, I saw clips of you guys as a 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. You're right. My bad. That's my. But yeah, Argo leaves after BLGS 2. We'll get in what happened to BLGS 2 in a second. But what was it like looking for another third to fill his spot? Because Argo left big shoes to fill.
Yeah, so we had 4. We had 4 trials in a week span. First one was I'm not gonna say names. I don't even remember his name if I'm being honest. No, I do remember his name now. That was an experience in itself. Going from having someone that was we could rely on him as an anchor to insert himself when needed to having to have someone learn how to do that is a hard feat to try and like figure out.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, like me and Renji, whenever we were doing the LF1 process, it was a situation where we were just like VOD reviewing after and like seeing where things could have gone differently and like what's the pros, what's the cons. So we trialed 2 people, and then we trialed one more person, and we thought we had a dead set on who we wanted. And then a said person ended up hitting us up, and it was a previous teammate of Renji's.
Right.
So we ended up trialing him also, and it felt like a missing piece was put into place in some sort, but in a different way, because that said person was an entry fragger also. He's played on the entry frag role. So that brings a whole new gist to how we play. And it was like definitely a weird thing at first, but it's been working out.
And I mean, you guys have the scrims to fucking prove it. You guys are frying kids.
27 kill game, 28. We didn't do 28 because we would have got kicked. We almost did. I think we've done like a 25, 27. Like when we start ramping and Renji starts making the calls, it's like the possibility is like crazy. And the thing is too, if you look at those games, like when you think a team's doing that, the quality score of the match is just like a pro team running a BLGS round 1 lobby normally. But the thing is whenever we do that, it doesn't seem to pan out that way. We're just winning our 33s and just holding where we need to hold. So like that's the weird thing too, is I've never had this much success on a team that like I have the confidence to swing whatever swing I need to do and know someone's going to be on it with me.
Right. And I want to go back to BLGS 1 because we have to talk about BLGS 2. I'm sorry. We have to talk about 2v3 Falcons. What did it feel like to 2v3 Falcons?
So, in that moment, we obviously knew that we were in their lobby. All 4 games of round 1, we either fought them and died or fought them and won. Like, they were the team that we were dying to. And when it came to that certain situation, we just knew that, like, we're playing zone. And we didn't know at first that they were the team that was trying to push us. And then the moment they got a crack, they started making forward progress, and that's when we knew. Like this is one of the pro teams in our lobby. And Renji got like dual swung by I think it was zero dual swung him with who's our third? Waltzy. Yeah, Waltzy's. He threw. That's how we won the fight. If you want the full honesty, if Waltzy doesn't swing him by himself, God only knows what happens. But when it came down to it, I don't even know how me and Argo did that. If I'm gonna be completely honest, it was like black, and then we won the fight. At that time, Renji had me on shotgun ban. So if no one's heard of this, there's a shotgun ban for people that can't hit their shots with shotguns at first. That was me.
Shit.
So, I was running SMGs and like Havoc and stuff. And that's when I started aim training at the time. Like Renji had me on an aim training routine. So I was pretty locked. And so when that fight happened, I was just playing to not die. Like I didn't want to have a free like 1v3 on them. Like I was playing to play my life as if I was a solo. And then Waltzy swings him by himself, and I'm like, what? So we just freaking 2-1'd him. And in the VOD, you'll obviously see that. Hal's like, what the hell are you doing? But after that, I hold pressure on them. Argo does some like, this is the one thing with pros. If you do something stupid, they're not going to like they're not expecting it sometimes. So Argo climbed up on their back in the doorway and just started freaking shooting the living crap out of them, and then I just dropped back, and then it was wraps from there. Like I'm just having free back shots on them. They died, and then Renji, I didn't even know. Like at first, I didn't know it was Falcons, and then all I hear Renji is his mic's peaking, and he's screaming that we just killed Falcons, and he's saying "fuck you, Hal," and don't int us. And I was like, holy crap, okay, we just killed Falcons. All right, we need to reset. Let's do it now. So,
yeah, bro has a serious hatred for Hal that needs to be studied.
Yeah.
Like, you would have thought Hal pissed in his cereal or something.
right after that game, he automatically took the VOD, posted on Twitter, and then took a picture of the dog walking.
Yeah,
meme,
the dog
and
walking.
It was there.
And I
So.
think shortly after I interviewed him after that. That was crazy. Um, wow, that's a great feeling to have. I mean, 2v3 a pro team. That's what I really think personally. I think the pro should have been left out of BLGS.
Me too.
Because that is like that's like the G League to the actual ALGS.
The G League. Yeah.
And so
I feel the same way.
But then you have these CC teams that can't make it to pro league,
making it into the regional finals.
Dead ass, or even shitting on pro teams in the worst way.
Like I think Dig and them made it. Like
Dig
Sushi How made it, which there's another video you can find on Sushi How, which we could talk about, but that's BLGS 3. And
Sushi How,
like,
I almost tried with those guys. Yeah, those guys are
Sim J.
insane.
Yeah, Renji definitely did not 1v3 them to keep us in the running for quarterfinals in BLGS. So
fucking hell.
Yeah.
Brother's insane, definitely. Okay. I mean, you guys have the accolades to make it to pro league. You guys have done insane things. Do you guys make it year 5? Year 4? What year is this?
We're thinking of what do we need to do. So, like, obviously it comes with steps like VOD reviewing, seeing what we need to work on, like team aspects and all that stuff. Like, I love Light to death, but he tries to not settle for anything less than a certain thing that he wants. And me and Ranger are like, bro, like, one step at a time.
Right.
And I can only imagine what's going to happen. And I'm not going to say that could ever happen because it could not. But there's the possibility that it can. And I feel like our team chemistry, if it keeps building, there is a high possibility that I wouldn't say high, I'd say medium possibility, like, for sure. Like, but it also always comes down to what's in meta. What's, like, how the game's flowing is one of the biggest things, too. So, when you take that into effect, it's one of those things where it's like, what's going to happen? Like, when SMG meta comes back,
fucking me.
Y'all ain't ready.
I'm not gonna lie. I can't wait for the fucking R9 to come back.
Bro, for real. I was on shotgun ban for a reason. Okay.
Yeah, bro. I was fucking horse cock with a shotgun, dude.
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah. It's only recently started clicking.
Yeah, no, dead ass.
I took it was like a 2-month break. It was a month and a half. Like, I was using shotguns at like AR range, and Renji's like, "What the hell are you doing?" And I'm like,
so used to doing it, so it kind of was a step.
That's one of those things too when it comes to Renji, like with Renji and Argo or Renji and Light. Whenever Argo was with us, when they told me things, it's in here. Like, it's always a mental note in any game I play at that point. For the most part, like, I try and make that a thing. Like, this is the thing when it comes to BLGS 4. Renji told me to stay on his ass, and what happened?
Stay on his ass, y'all.
I threw. I threw.
Yeah, so how the fuck did you? I was looking through the clips, and I was like, bro, what are you doing, ReZumi?
So me and Renji talked about it after the fact, and I was like, we needed points. Like, I think we needed like 11 points to qualify for quarters. Like, we just had our goal going into BLGS 4 was no 0-point games. Like, we didn't want goose egg. We didn't have a goose egg game until round 3, game 3. So that hindered us, like, heavily.
Right.
So going into that game, we ended up taking God spot. And I just, for some reason in my mind, thought, why do we need this KP if we have God spot? But then in reality, like, this is what we talked about after. It's like, I'm not the IGL right now. And I wouldn't even say right now, I'm not going to be the IGL. And that was one of those things where it's like, Renji told me to do something, and for some reason I fucking didn't. And then the repercussions happened, and they start flowing, and then words start being said, and I'm like, oh my god. But definitely something that should have been in my brain more. But, and like, I held that shit to my heart for like a good 3 hours. Like I planned on playing ranked with a couple of my ranked buddies, and I was like, bro, I can't right now. But I just should have listened to Renji. Like, and that's just how it is. Like, I just need to stick on him. Like the games that I do that, we drop 11 to 20 kills, and that's just. And I guess Newcastle's a new thing for me. So, Renji, if you need me on Newcastle.
Yeah, yeah, it's fucking nice. That's one thing I said would be better. Put light up in the forefront. And keep
That's one of
you
the things
watching
too
it.
we're trying to figure out right now.
But
Is like when we need to play differently.
yeah,
Like me anchoring and light playing as the
you mean that game on E
secondary
District?
entry.
That
Which
E
one?
District game where you and Light were healing, and then Richie was like way the fuck up ahead.
Yeah, that tends to be a situation too. But I also have cat wall, so I can just wall. Like
It's true too.
I just need to throw that shit down.
Oh,
Throw the
that
goop
situation
down.
was a little icky. I feel like it could be played either. It could play in many ways.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that was just a kind
But
of a
we
sticky
live,
one
we
there.
learn.
No, for sure. But that's a perfect segue into what I really wanted to talk about. Zumi, you have to be one of the people who are the most hardest on yourself. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Jesus, bro, chill. Like, holy
I
fuck.
can't, bro. I expect so much out of myself, and I do that shit IRL, like anything. And when it comes to the game, it's the same way. When it comes to me as a player, I expect what I need to know and what I've already VOD reviewed and what I've already watched and what I already know is other problems that are at hand. I don't want those leaking in, and when they do, I linger on things like heavily. But this is the one thing that's different is it's dependable. So it's dependable on certain situations. So like for instance, BLGS, if we're playing bad, for instance, whenever we play bad in BLGS 2, we needed, I think it was a 13-point game 4 to make it into quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And like all the things that's happened before when it comes to tournaments and stuff, I just don't like. It's a new game. What are we gonna do now? And when it came to that game, we shit on 100 Thieves. We ended up almost shitting on LG. Like they got third partied off of it. We didn't get all the kills, but we ended up with like I think it was like 11, 12 kills in a third place game. So that was also the game that we were running. We were running Maggie at the time, and Timmy and them were like, we watched their VOD back, and they were like, why are they running Maggie?
Yeah, Maggie's
And then
completely useless. At this point.
all you hear Rambo go is after watching for like 5 minutes, he's like, bro, Maggie's broken. And we're like, we've been saying this, but that's one of the things that I need to get under control more, but it's also one of those things that it's just me. So it comes with time. Like I'm very hard on myself, especially with the previous people I've played with. Always taking my flaws and doing something with them. Like that was one of the biggest things that I had to adapt with was taking things with a grain of salt. And they don't always mean it that way. So when it came to that, it was one of those things that I had to grow through. But when it comes to like my play style, I know where I can play, and when I'm not playing at that like point, it puts me in a bind where I'm like stuck thinking about it nonstop, and then watching my VODs and like I watch. I think you say it's Bulverine. I watch him a lot.
Wolverine, yeah.
Like I'll watch a lot of people, and trying to figure out how to insert it into how I'm playing. And then Snoopy's been a big help in that too. Because he doesn't try and single out a single situation, but he does try and single out when someone's doing something wrong. So there was this thing called Zumi simping for 1v3s.
Fuck.
And that's not happening anymore, but it was.
I hope not. I hope not.
But I remember at one point, I was hitting PR after PR and damage, and then out of nowhere, I hit like a blockade, and I just like couldn't do anything. Like I felt like I was just being useless. And when I get in those points, I'd start thinking about like things that I shouldn't be thinking about, and then I just linger on, and then like someone's got to come in and be like, "Zumi, what the fuck?" Like there was this one time, Breezy, we were playing, and I was being hesitant about things. And Breeze is like, Zumi, you fucking play comp? Get out of your head. Like, any team we swing right now, you could kill. Any person's in front of you, you can kill. So why are you in your head? And it's like, it's just one of those things that like your teammates have to realize when you're like that, in my own opinion, too.
Yeah.
And they just can't let you get there.
Yeah, I have a similar issue, especially since I've really taken on the role of IGL seriously this go around. Bro, that mental chalking is very real.
Oh, it's
and
big.
That shit is so ass, bro. Like
You can't sit on that shit either.
Yeah,
You can't.
Once you're chalked, bro, now I'm second guessing calls. I'm just fucking a lot of things up for my teammates, and then that's fucking me up, and it just goes on in this vicious circle until the scrim is done.
Yeah. That's the thing too, though. You have to think of it game by game. Like, VOD reviewing's for VOD reviewing. The game is for the game. So you take game by game. Like, any game could be 23 points. Any game could be 0 points. You never know. But that's why as players we VOD review. Like, we have that ability, and that, like, the amount of things you can learn just by watching someone else's VOD and then, like, seeing what they're doing differently from you can, like, change the aspect of how you play in a very high. And especially when you're IGLing, just watching other people, it's like you can figure things out like heavily. But the thing about playing is just like life. Like, there's always something you can work on, whether it's mechs, whether it's micro, whether it's macro, whether it's team fighting, whether it's comms, whether it's like synergy, whether it's anything. Like, any and everything you can work on just in the slightest bit, and it can make things like go from 0 to 100 in like an instant. But it's also inserting those things.
I most definitely agree. I've been doing, with me especially, bro. After every scrim, I obsess over the VOD for it. Like, and I just sit and literally. It's gotten to the point where even at work, I'll usually watch. Like right now, I'm watching Dexter. Never seen it before until recently, bro. I love that shit, dog. But I've literally, that's used to be my go-to work show. I put that shit on pause because I'm obsessing over watching somebody's VOD, watching something comp related, because I have to be better next scrim.
The only way you get better in those certain instances too is like realizing the problems. And this is one thing a lot of players have a problem with, in my own opinion, is egotistical thinking. You can't have it. Like, thinking you know what's right when in reality it's not can cause problems in its own self. And when you're able to watch a VOD and realize the problems that are like the root of the problem that is going on in certain situations, and then working on it is one of those, like, once it's done, it's done. It's done. It's done.
Yeah,
it's just clicking.
I don't know if you watched my last interview with Sorwiz from Non-Lies.
I did.
Towards the end there, he said something that really stuck out to me. He was kind of middle end. He's like, a lot of people in this lower scene have this ego, thinking that they're the greatest to ever fucking live. And realistically, you haven't made this, you haven't done this, you haven't done this, you're not him. That stuck with me because I know in the past I used to do it a lot.
Yep.
Like, before I became a comp player, when I was just doing it for the content, I was like, bro, I'm a fucking god, bro. I'm this, and this. Yep. There's no way I'm losing. And like, that's just, can't even talk on it too long. But
those are the things. It's like, when you don't have the accolades, that's one thing, but when you do, that's another. But that's why I don't like when people say like, this person is this, and it's like, well, I don't see it. But at the same time, you can then play with those people and realize, like, this dude is something different. Like, that's how it was with Renji for me. Like, I've never had that before. And it's like, I'm looking at Renji, and I'm like, holy crap. And, like, that, I look at Light sometimes, and I'm like, holy shit.
The YN, man.
The YN. Have you never? Yeah. I have a video of him. I was aim training before a scrim one day, and he was like, Zumi, can we... Well, it was like, can we merge, make a Yunk to defeat something? And I'm like, what the... I'm
The
like,
fuck is a young?
what are you yapping about?
Bro, I have to do it. Bro, Light is one of like there's only a couple of people that I could just laugh at, and Light's definitely that person, bro. Like,
Oh yeah, Light is.
I laugh at Light
He
all the
brings
time,
the,
bro.
like, I have a video of him freaking. I'm down, and he's freaking Newcastle resing me in a corner, and he's like, "You did."
You can hear me. Yeah, that shit right there is
And
hilarious.
I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, what the heck is going on, bro?
Yo, I love
Light
Light,
is,
bro.
yeah, he brings the spirits up, but when he gets pissed,
Oh my god.
oh my god,
Bro, I've seen a few. I've seen a few.
oh yeah,
violent.
I'm like, bro, please calm down.
Yeah, bro. Honestly, we gotta give him the crash out title. Bro is a real
Yeah.
deal crashed out kid, bro.
I
Holy fuck.
used to do it bad. I do it when I solo queue a lot, like that.
Oh yeah, no. So
There's a VOD you could probably find where I'm screaming at a Pathy to place me a zip, and that said Pathy does not place me a zip, and I die. This controller definitely does not go over there somewhere, and this fist definitely does not go in this desk.
Bro, solo queuing, solo queuing bring a different person out of you, bro. I've never
Oh, it
threw
does.
anything. I've never pushed my desk, but solo queuing will definitely send me there, bro. 100%.
Oh yeah,
Hate that
especially
shit,
this day
bro.
and age. You get a
Jesus.
knock and they're already freaking resing, and then 2 seconds later they're already reset, and it's like,
What the
What can
fuck
I
can I do? Nah, dead ass, bro. That shit is so fucking horse shit. But you brought up Light, you know what I'm saying? So I know
No,
from my experience.
he just popped up on the bottom of my screen. He's on Apex.
Oh fuck. Oh, he's finna dig in somebody. That's what he's doing.
Oh my god.
Well, for my time in the comp scene, I've been, you know what I'm saying, I'm a top tier lurker. I love lurking around. I know Light was in Psycho with the previous team. That team didn't work out for whatever reason. I haven't found out yet, but hopefully if either I interview his other teammate or I interview him, I'm gonna find out.
I think he was with Borealis, and
Yeah,
I
Borealis
don't know
and
who
Permafrost.
yes, Perma.
Yeah, and I'm gonna interview one of those kids. I'm gonna get to the bottom of it. But anyway, the point is, you know, you guys joined Psycho, which is a huge organization. What was it like getting signed to a major org like Psycho? Well, not major, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, it was so they didn't make the announcement until after BLGS 3, which BLGS 3 we did things that I didn't think we could do. Because I don't see visions of things that are possible until they happen. And so we killed 100 thieves like 3 times. Like it was bad. Like they didn't qual for quarters because of us. We made LG crash out. Like there was a video of Funk and Sykes screaming at each other. We were the team that one of the teams that caused that. So
on the Broken
like they're
Moon?
pushing. Yes, that was us.
That was you guys?
Yes.
That's fucking great. I'm gonna find a clip and put it in the video. But that's
I don't know who their Newcastle is. I think it was
Sykes.
Funk.
No,
No,
Funk.
Sykes. It was either or, whichever one. I don't remember because that was like almost a month ago. But Renji was still alive, and they chased Renji. He was the one that was chasing Renji, and it just caused that whole ordeal. And like they could have aped us in a second, but they were just getting third partied. Like everyone that's seen the video knows it, but it's like it's crazy how we were a part of that. Like I was like, holy crap. But after that, we hopped in a call with Colby, and he introduced himself. We never talked to him before for that. And then we talked for a little bit about like the things he wants and the things like he aspires for, and all these other things. And then he got one of his designers to make up the art, and they announced it. And now it's just, all right, what's next? Which we know what's next. I'm not gonna announce it on here, but there will be posts about it. Well, actually,
come on, throw me a little bone, man.
Renji and them have one of these. I personally do not. I think Renji actually He did. He showed you one of them in his um
I know. No, you don't got to go
video.
nowhere. Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
got to go too much farther. I know.
I've never had one. One. Two, this is the only org that I've actually been signed under. I played under FLA, actually, which is Fearless Abyss, with Guilty and Breezy.
Mhm.
But there was nothing like to that. Like, we were just playing under them. There was no incentive for it. Like, we didn't get anything out of it.
Right.
Like, they just promoted our streams, and the people that were in the org came and watched us, which that was a plus. But I mean, the people in there are also very nice. I liked communicating with them and talking with them. And then I also played under Betrayed, obviously, but I never really got into contact with anybody in there because I wasn't in there long because
there
of
was
the
really-
whole Argo situation, yeah, all that.
there
But
was really
Psycho,
nobody
like,
in Betrayed, but, you know.
Colby is very invested, and he wants a lot of things, and we back that. So I was excited. So
Yeah, I know.
and there's
this
always
is not,
possibility of more.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. This is not Light and Renji's first go around, but to be
Oh yeah.
that being your first go around, oh, I can only imagine. I
Oh, yeah.
probably would have done the Irish jig behind my desk, like literally, man. I can't wait for it's my time, but that's amazing. Like I said, congratulations to you. Please, this video is probably gonna come after you guys, and show what you got in the show, but it will be in the video, man, because I definitely want to see it, and I definitely be on the lookout. I always commented and like your stuff anyway. Zoomy with the zoomies.
Zoomy with the zoomies.
But we're coming to the end of the competing history segment, and the last thing I wanted to know is your overall comp experience. Like, how has it been competing from when you first started to now? What is your mindset? How do you go about it? And words of encouragement to people trying to climb the ladder like you.
So first off, I had to realize very fast that like you're gonna have bad days. Obviously at first I was playing for fun. We actually played in a V&M tournament. I don't remember. I think it was a cash tournament. I don't remember. But Crow was in there. If we know who Crow's Joe is.
No.
He was in there.
Scrims.
Yeah, I've played against him a couple times now.
Fuck that guy.
We also played against him in BLGS, but that's beside the point. Well, but just learning from that to then playing in a different sense with different people, and then learning the way to play the game in certain ways also is like one of those things like positioning and what needs to be done in certain situations. That was a big step for me. And at first, I used to, when we go back to the I'm so hard on myself situation, that was a big prominent example of it. Was I was very hard on myself in those times, so I would literally just sit and watch VOD. And when it comes to new players, and if you're trying to play better, like I've said already in here, it's like watch what you can, because any information you can gather, like it's absurd how far you can take it. But at the same time, I understand that Apex is at a decline at the moment, which I hope they figure something out because they need to. But when it comes to new players or players that are in a drought state, the way I look at it is surrounding yourself by people that want something when it comes to success in a singular person as their teammate. You want those people around you, and you want to stay with them. Like, no matter the cost, like, if you guys are fighting, bro, sit in a call and get over it. Like, figure that shit out. Like, now. Because if the synergy's there and the possibilities are endless when it comes to that. So, like, it doesn't matter. I think when it comes to teams that play well, and especially in CCs, there's a lot of LFTing going on, and
Shit ton.
oh yeah, a ton. But sticking on that situation, it's like you got to look at yourself a lot too. And what do you want to be? So to make a name for yourself, you obviously have to put in the time and the effort. Like, I couldn't shoot my gun the way I do 3 months ago. I was talking to Renji, and Renji was like, plugged me as freaking aim training. And I'm like, what the? Okay, bad. And then it started paying off. Like, those are the things that, like, you have to have the passion to drive for something to be able to play, like, at a higher level, because if you don't have the passion to work on yourself, you're not going to be able to push yourself in a direction where you're going to be playing at a higher level. Because if you're just being stagnant, you don't want to be stagnant. That's one of the worst spots you can be in. Because if you're stagnant, that means you're comfortable. You don't want to be comfortable. Designful's biggest words. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. Because if you're comfortable, there's something wrong. But when it comes to like words of encouragement, like I said already, take things with a grain of salt, because I had to start doing that. Apex scene is also it can be snaky at times. And look at yourself. Take pride in the way you play your game. Take pride in learning too, because if you don't want to learn, you're not going to grow. And again, that's one of those things where if you're not growing,
What are you doing?
you ain't going to get nowhere. So
most definitely. And if you don't mind, Zoom, I'm just gonna add a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with everybody that's possibly watching this. This shit is ass. Okay, I'm just gonna be completely honest. Zoomy didn't want to say it, but I'm gonna say it for him. LFTing is so garbage.
it's dog shit.
Like, holy fuck. That is.
I'm glad I
possibly
found
the worst
Renji
thing.
very fast, because if I didn't find someone within like 3 weeks, if I didn't find a team in 3 weeks that I was prominent with, I was probably not playing anymore.
Yeah, and that's how bad it is. Like, I remember
Yeah.
when I stopped playing comp because of the BLGS 1, it was just so traumatic for me. It, like you said, I was kind of stagnant for a little bit, and then it became very uncomfortable that I just wasn't competing. And then I'm watching people compete, and then now I want to compete. And it's like, bro, fuck. Like, I want to compete, but I can't go back to the last team I had because of XYZ. I think, and that's kind of where I transitioned into more of like, okay, I want to take on the IGL role, and if I do, this is what I'm looking for in my players.
Yeah, this is something too when it comes to people LFTing / LF1ing. I feel like it's a very big problem whenever they look at certain things when in reality those things could change over time. So
Yeah,
this
like
is a for
KD.
instance. Yes. Renji looked at my KD a month, I'd say 3 weeks into us playing, and he said, "What the heck is this?" I think I was at like a 0.7.
That sounds right.
I'm almost to a 1 now in a 2-month span. I 100% believe that the people you put yourself around lift the team up. So, like, let's say a lot of people look at statistics, accolades, this, that, and I think those don't determine a player's capability of the way they play. I think their teammates allow that. So, for instance, like, you could get gate kept as a player. I had a problem with that at one point where I was getting gate kept from my Searold. Like, those are the things. And it's like, when you find those certain synergizing people, don't let that shit go. Don't.
Yeah, for sure.
Because LFTing
Blows. Nah, should make
Holy,
you
bro.
want to do give you questionable
Oh my
thoughts, man.
God.
Like, holy fuck.
I had 5 LFTs, 3 of them were like, why am I here?
Nah,
Why
dude,
am I
I
here?
remember I was trialing as an IGF for one team, bro.
So one of those people just made it to BLGS finals.
Whoa.
One of those people I trialed with, and I was like,
How
what
the
is
fuck
going
did
on?
you get there? But I remember I was trialing as IGL, and I would make a call, and bro, what the fuck are we doing? It's like, okay, well, obviously, if you wanted the IGL, you should have did this, because
That was one of the things that I didn't do. Was when I was LFTing, I would never. I put it in there that I could if I needed to, but um, I didn't want to take over a situation where it was a duo that needed an IGL
Yeah, don't ever do that.
because
That is
yeah,
like you're asking for issues. Like,
yeah,
don't ever do that, dude. Honestly, my opinion, don't join a fucking duo. Like, joining a duo is so chalking. Like, obviously, your duo is different. It's very dependent on the duo. But from what I've seen in my experience, most duos, their chem and synergy is so tight that only they work. So if you're coming in as a third, you kind of have to look for that place. Whoa, where do I put myself? While also trying to shoot your gun and like win.
Yep.
That shit gives me hives.
Another problem with people that I see is like not being like accepting towards playing like subbing for teams. If you have the ability to learn from people, you never know what's gonna happen. So you may as well do it.
True.
So,
that's also good. My boy, yeah, I don't know how to say his name. I'm just gonna put him on screen. But Arcs are like
yeah, we call them arcs.
Yeah, Arcs.
Hope that's your name, brother.
One day. It's not today though. He put me on. He put me on to like, summon for other teams. And then bro dropped a 20 bomb in the scrims just now.
Oh.
The scrims I was playing, bro dropped a 20 bomb. So like there's definitely he's definitely improved, and he's new to comp. So he's dropping 20 bombs.
He said he's been playing for like a month.
Yeah, bros did nothing but sub.
That's the thing too. The way this meta is right now, it's so friendly to people like wanting to come in the comp scene. Like so friendly.
Yeah, this is like the perfect time to do it.
I hate that shit. not for the new people, but if we get a knock, they're reset in 5 seconds, and I'm like, what the?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bro. That's why Pathy is just such a
Like,
need. Like,
just take a shotgun, 102 pump someone, and it's like, bro.
Yeah,
So Dig Vibes freaking tweeted about. He was like, the skill gap is freaking crazy.
I
It's
actually
like
went against
non-existent.
Dig Vibes, and I might add I was in the lobby faster than I could blink. So, well, Zumi, that is the competing history segment. Now we're at the opening the door to competing, like the before. What was your life outside of Apex? And I wanted to go into why do they call you Unk? Like, we gotta talk about that.
So, Breezy, we were playing ranked one day, and Timeless just came out by Playboy Cardi and Weekend. And I don't know, I was just listening to it, I was singing it. And me and Breezy are around the same age. Like, I'm 23, he's like, I think he's 23 also.
Oh,
he's about
okay.
to be 24.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, I thought you were 26.
No. So, I was like walking up to a there's a video of it on my Twitter. I was walking up to a survey beacon, and he's like, Zumi, you're like the cool Unk. And I'm like, what? So then we were in scrims, and I told Breezy, or not Breezy, I told Renji that, and Renji's like, yeah, Unk. And then it's like, okay, now it's just a thing. So it just stuck. Like, it just stuck. I mean, now, Renji's younger than me, and Light's like very much so younger than me. Like, I feel like I have a child at points with Light. So it's like
Light's a young grown man. Like,
yes.
he's done shit I haven't even thought about doing. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So like, but that's just how Unk happened. I'm like, okay, I'm embracing it, I guess.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
Like they're talking about Word of Scrim, and they're talking about something that like Renji's talking about something, and I'm like, bro, I literally grew up with that happening. Like, you act like I'm like 10 years older than you, and I'm like, okay.
I'm not gonna lie. The goatee definitely makes you look like 26, gang. I'm not gonna lie to you. Look like you have a motorcycle.
I used to have long hair too. Used to be like down to here.
Bro, I seen it. I was like, Zumi, all right. Thank God you cut that shit off, dog. It was long as shit.
I had that shit for like 7 years.
Holy fuck, dude. Like,
Cut it twice.
Shit, bro. That was insane. Nah, your hair was long as shit, bro. If I could find a picture, just know I'm putting it on here too. I gotta find that. But you're competing now. You joined a major org. You're competing in BLGS. You guys are doing fantastic. Now you're in the off season, grinding to year 5 CCs. What are you hoping to get out of it? Like in competing in general, where do you see yourself next year?
In year 5?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping that the year 5 break is like 2 months.
Mhm.
Because me and my wife are expecting.
All right, congratulations.
So that's one of the situations I have at the hand. But when it comes to that, we've been talking a little bit and trying to get that figured out. But when it comes to year 5 in general, I want the accolades, bro. I want them. Like, but it comes with time, obviously, and we're working on it. But it's one step at a time. I'm not gonna like I said. He's like, I want this, and I'm like, okay, buddy, okay, we'll get there. But just give it a second. But when it comes to year 5, it's like, you know how everyone has these nice wig videos of him talking about them. I want that. That's what
Oh
I want.
yeah. Oh yeah.
I want
need
that.
that bad. That's gonna scratch an itch I've been having
That's
for a
my
minute.
goal. Once that happens,
Good.
I don't even care.
That or sweet. I need sweet.
Yep.
Right. Give me some type of credit for some. I don't give a fuck if I threw a
We
right
were-
nade. I need it.
We were known for calling him a Fisher. That's what we were known for.
I need that. I remember because Renji posted a chat. He was like, "Renji, really?" Like, or some shit like that. And I was like, "Oh, that's everybody's getting acknowledged
And then
by my
he
goat."
talked about the fight, and he was like, I was playing Valk at the moment, and I tried to fly, and he's like, if your Valk didn't fly there, you guys probably honestly could have done something more. And I was like, oh, well, okay.
Damn. Nah, so I'm not gonna lie. You're just.
Well, no,
getting
I had
caught.
him like, I had Sweet like 30 flesh, but I like turned around to regroup, and I flew out of instinct, and you're just a sitting duck at that point.
Oh yeah, and then you fly so fucking slow, like.
Yeah. It's like, where's my rocket ship? I want that. I don't want this freaking turtle with jets on it. I want my rocket ship.
But I feel like if you go any faster, it should just be too fucking strong.
Yeah.
Too fucking strong.
Where was Newcastle when I needed him?
Growing up, right? Where did you see? Like, I'm talking 14 and no 13 and 10 years. Did you see yourself here?
Mm-mm. No.
Where did you see yourself?
That's kind of hard because, like, when you're a kid, you don't like. I didn't think about that shit that much, but I think at that time, I was playing Advanced Warfare and like Destiny a lot. I think that was the time. I don't even know when that shit came out. Like, but when I was younger, that's what I was playing. And like when it came to COD, Advanced Warfare was like the COD out of those like 4 after BO2 that like I was like very fucking good at for some odd reason. But I played Destiny like a motherfucker. So at first, whenever I've been making content for like 2 years now, and I never thought that like video games would be a situation to where I'm known in to a small degree, but a degree. I never thought that. When I was younger, I literally just thought work, work, and work. Like that's all you need to do. Like, so my mom raised me, so which I do work.
Yeah, and speaking
Yeah.
of work, what is it like balancing competing and working? Because I know for me, it's a very hard thing to do, especially with the added of doing content as well.
It's something like. So when I was playing with Spastic, that was a big problem. Was my schedule wasn't where I wanted it to be at the time, and I now have it to where I want it to be, so I'm able to do that. But it hinders us as a team in a sense, I feel like, but at the same time, in my own opinion, it doesn't, because I think if you're around people too long, it can cause a hostile environment at times. But um, like I work 50 hours a week, and it's like I come home sometimes and I'm like, bro, I don't even want to play. But when you think about it, when it comes to those certain situations, you have to be like, all right, what do I need to do? Well, you got to eat better. Like you have to eat to sustain the ability to be able to play how you need to play.
Mhm.
You have to sleep.
No, for
So
sure,
that is
sure.
something I realized heavily when I was going in through a mech diff at one point in time, like a month ago, was I was not getting enough sleep at night, and it was hindering how I played the game. And then there's all these other factors, but when it comes down to it all, um, spending quality time with people is also one of those things too. It's like you just gotta. I mean, for me, my friends are on here, so
Yeah.
I'm already on. But I just work, pop a Red Bull,
Keep it going,
chilling,
man.
big
Well,
chilling.
Zumi, that's all the time we have for tonight. Apex Underground episode. Well, I don't know yet, but thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a big pleasure. Glad I was able to finally do this, dude. We planned this last month,
Either
and I was just not able to do it again. I do apologize, but thank you for
You're
being
good.
here with me on Apex Underground,
Mhm.
man. And I have a feeling that we're going to be talking very soon again.
Mhm.
All right.
I'm with it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you have enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I drop. And that's it. What a banger.
Fuck! Why did I open Rocket League, bro? No! Bust it
You
down
wanna play?
every fucking dead of week.